Hey, what's going on, everybody? Joel Urway here, and welcome to, what are we at, day 7? I think, day 7 or day 8 of my daily video blog, how to launch a business from scratch, doing 6 to 7 figures. And it's been a very busy couple of days. Today is Thursday, January 19th, and I had a second webinar today. Yesterday I did a joint venture webinar. Today I did a cold traffic webinar, and I'm going to be going over all my statistics with you. Still no sales yet, but honestly, I didn't have anybody that I was pitching to today. We only had, on my webinar today, I had about 54 people registered. Only 7 people attended total. And I'm looking at my stats right now, and it looks like total number of attendees peaked at 4. But my whole goal with doing this was to start practicing the webinar, doing it live. It's been like a year since I've done live webinars, and so I really wanted to give myself some time to ease into it. And I was really rusty, and I wanted to test to see if my message actually made sense. And so yesterday I did my webinar with my joint venture partner, and I got some good feedback this morning. One of the attendees actually emailed me and gave me a full-blown breakdown, which I'm super grateful for, because as somebody who's giving a presentation, it's super difficult to critique your own webinar. And so as I was going through it, I knew that some of the stuff wasn't connecting, and I was doing a pretty bad job of explaining what my thoughts were. But that's why I practiced, right? That's why I was doing these at a really, really small scale, is to test my offer and test my message, the whole 9 yards. That's what I'm preaching, right? So this guy gave me some critiques, which made a lot of sense. And so when I got it this morning before I did my live webinar at noon, and so I implemented a lot of some of the changes. I couldn't get to all of them, but I knew that my offer is still a little bit confusing. So my end goal is to get people into ConvertPro, right? ConvertPro is my membership site where I'm trying to get tons of high converting offers so we can share traffic and share results, right? That's my ultimate goal. And my webinar is talking about how to use webinars to rapid fire and test your offers, right? That's my whole thing. And so I think there's this disconnect between what I'm talking about on the webinar, which is building a foundation with a webinar, like how to use a webinar to build your foundation and test your offers. And then I'm going into ConvertPro and the webinar accelerator, and even talking about it right now out loud, it's a little bit confusing. So I go into my pitch and I say, hey, I want you to join the webinar accelerator. And so my thought was, and this could be why I'm getting crickets, but my thought was I give them a program that helps them launch their webinar, build the foundation of their offer with a webinar, and then stay in ConvertPro so they get three free months access to ConvertPro, and ConvertPro is teaching them other conversion methods. So I think that might be a little bit confusing, because we're talking about webinars, and then I'm showing them other conversion methods with the membership site. So anyway, I'm still tinkering around with that, and I know that there's a couple of my secrets in the middle can be reworked as well. But I felt a lot better with the offer today, and the offer can still be tweaked, and the offer still needs to be reworked. But getting up there and doing it live is great practice. And as I start to do it live more and more, what I like to do, so I'm not slipping up and I'm not saying ums and ahs, I like to script every word of the entire presentation. I'm not there yet. Okay, I don't script it until I do it a few times, because I want it to sound natural. So ultimately, when I get a webinar that is good, or it's getting close to it, then I'll have it transcribed and I'll have somebody put words to every single slide, so I don't have to go through and type it all. But this is the best way for me to kind of test my offer and test my message. So that's what's been going on the past couple of days. It's a little bit of a bummer, not gonna lie. I was hoping that I could have a couple of sales, but honestly, I still haven't had more than 20 people on total watch my webinar live. So I need to get more eyeballs, and that's what I'm gonna be focusing on for the next couple of weeks as I'm lining up partnerships. But I want to make sure that I get my webinar converting before I do these JVs, because with JVs and partner webinars, I mean, that can really be a 6-figure promotion in itself if you have a good webinar. And I want to make sure I get a good webinar before I line up those promotions. So anyway, that's what's been going on. So I want to show you some stats, because I always like to show you guys some stats. So here's my data from GoToWebinar. Today is the 19th. I went 82 minutes. I had 54 people registered, 7 people attend live, so that is a pretty piss poor attendance rate. However, I had to postpone my webinar last week, so this is kind of carryover from last week as well as this week. And so I only had about a 13% show up rate, and that's because it was literally a 2-week promotion for the webinar, which I never recommend. Usually no more than 3 days before your webinar is when you want to start promoting it. So anyway, that probably contributed to my low show up rate. So there's that. Average attentiveness was 82%, which is good. That means that people were actually paying attention, so the content was decent. And yeah, so at max, I had 4 people on. So anyway, I don't have enough data to really say my offer sucks or my offer doesn't suck, but I did get some feedbacks from some people, and I have some more people checking it out and giving me some feedback now. So let me give you some numbers on my ad data. So I'm going to actually be creating a spreadsheet which tracks my webinar performance. And I did a test yesterday. Anyone who watched my previous video knows that I was doing a website conversion or a website click test, and it bombed. Like, it bombed hard. If we look at yesterday and today, because I ran some traffic today, but so my website click test, I spent $134 because I wanted to see, I just wanted to test it fast, and that's never ever a good way of doing it. But I did confirm that my website clicks it's pretty junk traffic. Even though my cost per click was $1.19, it says that I had 113 clicks to the site, which my ClickFunnels didn't even register that many clicks. So I don't know what is up with the website clicks, but I had 2 conversions for $67 a piece. So compare that to my conversion campaign where I had 9 for $12.17, which is still high. I got to look at that and get my numbers down and figure out what's going on with that. So anyway, ad cost is high, which is why I like partnerships and which is why I like other sources of traffic. This is good for long term. That's why I'm starting it now. So eventually I can keep it going. But all right, guys, so that's where I'm at. Still the big goose egg, but my hopes are high. I'm not worried about it because I know that once I get the offer converting with a webinar, the floodgates are going to open up, and I'm excited to show you guys what happens when you get a webinar that converts. But this is the process. This is the process that you go through when you're launching a new product. It's never overnight success, so keep that in your mind. And stay tuned, guys. This is exciting. I'm excited, and I want to show you what's going on behind the scenes. So that's what I'm doing. Share the love if this makes sense. If you like these types of videos, I want to keep doing them. But I also want to make sure that people are seeing this. I want to spread the love and let people know that entrepreneurship is a long and lonely road. And I don't even know if anybody's watching this, but if they are, comment down below, like and share it. And I'm excited to produce more great content for you. I'm launching my podcast in 11 days, so I've got a couple people lined up for my first round of interviews, my Sold with Webinars podcast. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, a lot of stuff coming down the pipe, and I'm excited to keep sharing this stuff with you and keep connecting. So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow, and take care.